In the dawn of humanity, a tale of two brothers would forever alter the course of history. Cain and Abel, the first sons of Adam and Eve, were destined for greatness, but their paths would tragically diverge. The biblical account tells us that both brothers offered sacrifices to God, but Abel's humble offering of his finest sheep was accepted, while Cain's proud presentation of his crops was rejected. Consumed by jealousy and anger, Cain's heart turned cold, and he committed the unthinkable, murdering his own brother. But what drove Cain to such darkness? Was it a desire for approval, a sense of entitlement, or a lust for power? The Bible hints at a deeper issue, a heart that had turned away from God. As we examine the story of Cain and Abel, we find a complex web of motivations, emotions, and consequences. We see the devastating effects of sin and the redemptive power of forgiveness. We witness the birth of evil and the emergence of a pattern that would repeat throughout human history. The story of Cain and Abel is more than just an ancient tale. It's a mirror reflecting our own struggles, desires, and flaws. It's a reminder that our choices have consequences, and that the line between good and evil is often blurred. A cryptic figure, shrouded in silence, stands at the crossroads of humanity's story. Cain's wife, a woman without a name, appears suddenly in the biblical narrative, leaving us with more questions than answers. Who was she? Where did she come from? How did she meet Cain? The Bible remains eerily quiet on these matters, sparking a mystery that has captivated scholars and theologians for centuries. Some propose that she was a sister or niece of Cain, born to Adam and Eve after Abel's death. Others suggest she may have been a daughter of another human lineage, existing outside the Garden of Eden. The enigma of Cain's wife raises fundamental questions about human origins, relationships, and the early days of our world. Was she a willing participant in Cain's life, or a victim of circumstance? As we grapple with the mystery of Cain's wife, we find ourselves entangled in a web of ancient traditions, cultural influences, and theological debates. The silence surrounding her identity only adds to the intrigue, inviting us to ponder the untold stories of humanity's past. The enigmatic story of Cain's wife stands as a fascinating and intriguing puzzle within the biblical narrative, sparking a multitude of questions that have captivated scholars and theologians for centuries. At the heart of this mystery lies a woman, nameless and voiceless, yet intimately connected to the first murderer in human history. Her presence raises fundamental questions about the nature of humanity, relationships, and the early days of our world. As we examine the story of Cain's wife, we find ourselves entangled in a complex web of ancient traditions, cultural influences, and theological debates. The silence surrounding her identity only adds to the intrigue, inviting us to ponder the untold stories of humanity's past. This mystery also highlights the complexities of human relationships, revealing the darker aspects of love, family, and community. Through Cain's wife, we see the devastating consequences of sin and the redemptive power of forgiveness. The story of Cain's wife serves as a reminder that even in the most ancient of tales, we find echoes of our own struggles, desires, and flaws. As we seek to understand this enigmatic figure, we may uncover more questions than answers, but the search itself reveals the depth and richness of the human experience. Who was Cain's wife? The biblical account of Cain's wife is shrouded in mystery, leaving us with more questions than answers. In Genesis 4:17, we find the only mention of her. Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bore Enoch. The Bible doesn't provide a name, a backstory, or even a description of Cain's wife. She appears suddenly, as if out of nowhere, and disappears just as quickly. This lack of information has led to countless speculations and interpretations. Some believe she was a sister or niece of Cain, born to Adam and Eve after Abel's death. Others propose she may have been a daughter of another human lineage, existing outside the Garden of Eden. The biblical account also raises questions about Cain's relationship with his wife. Was she a willing participant in his life, or a victim of circumstance? Did she know about his past, about the brother he murdered? Despite the silence surrounding Cain's wife, her presence speaks volumes about the complexities of human relationships and the early days of humanity. She remains an enigma, a mystery waiting to be unraveled. The mystery of Cain's wife's identity and origins has captivated scholars and theologians for centuries. Who was this woman, and where did she come from? The Bible's silence on this matter has led to a multitude of theories and interpretations. One theory suggests that Cain's wife was a daughter of Adam and Eve, born after Abel's death. This would make her Cain's sister, raising questions about the nature of their relationship and the early practices of humanity. Another theory proposes that Cain's wife was a member of a separate human lineage, existing outside the Garden of Eden. This would imply that there were other humans on Earth, unrelated to Adam and Eve, and that Cain's wife was a part of this larger human population. Some scholars also suggest that Cain's wife may have been a descendant of the sons of God mentioned in Genesis 6:2, who intermarried with human women. This would add a supernatural dimension to her origins, raising questions about the nature of humanity and the divine. Despite these theories, the truth about Cain's wife's identity and origins remains a mystery, leaving us to ponder the untold stories of humanity's past. Her enigmatic presence serves as a reminder that there may be more to the biblical narrative than meets the eye. The enigma of Cain's wife has sparked a multitude of theories and interpretations, each attempting to shed light on her identity and origins. Here are some of the most intriguing. 1. Sister-wife theory. One of the most widely held theories is that Cain's wife was his sister, born to Adam and Eve after Abel's death. This would make their relationship incestuous, raising questions about the early practices of humanity. 2. Separate human lineage theory. Another theory proposes that Cain's wife was a member of a separate human lineage, existing outside the Garden of Eden. This would imply that there were other humans on Earth, unrelated to Adam and Eve. 3. Descendant of the sons of God theory. Some scholars suggest that Cain's wife may have been a descendant of the sons of God mentioned in Genesis 6:2, who intermarried with human women. This would add a supernatural dimension to her origins. 4. Pre-Adamic human theory. A few researchers propose that Cain's wife was a member of a pre-Adamic human population, existing before Adam and Eve. This would challenge the traditional biblical timeline and raise questions about human origins. 5. Symbolic figure theory. Some interpret Cain's wife as a symbolic figure, representing the embodiment of evil or the consequences of sin. This would see her as a literary device rather than a historical person. These theories and interpretations demonstrate the complexity and intrigue surrounding Cain's wife, highlighting the ongoing quest for understanding and the many unanswered questions about humanity's past. The story of Cain's wife is deeply rooted in the biblical context of Genesis 4:5, which describes the early descendants of Adam. This narrative provides crucial insight into the significance of Cain's lineage and the cultural and historical context of the biblical account. The biblical account begins with Adam and Eve, the first humans created by God. Their sons, Cain and Abel, are born, and the narrative unfolds with Cain's jealousy and subsequent murder of Abel. The story then shifts to the birth of Seth, another son of Adam and Eve, who is seen as a replacement for Abel. The genealogy of Adam's descendants is then presented in Genesis 5, highlighting the lineage of Seth, while also mentioning the descendants of Cain. This dual genealogy emphasizes the contrast between the two lines. Seth's line is marked by faithfulness and obedience, while Cain's line is characterized by violence and rebellion. Cain's lineage is significant because it represents the consequences of sin and rebellion against God. Cain's actions set a pattern for his descendants, who continue in his ways, leading to a lineage marked by violence, corruption, and ultimately, destruction. The biblical account also highlights the significance of Cain's lineage in relation to the Messiah. The genealogy of Jesus Christ, presented in the New Testament, traces back to Adam through the line of Seth, deliberately omitting Cain's lineage. This emphasizes the importance of faithfulness and obedience in the lineage of the Messiah. The biblical account of Cain's wife and the early descendants of Adam must be understood within its cultural and historical context. The ancient Near Eastern world was marked by tribalism, violence, and the struggle for power. The biblical narrative reflects this context, highlighting the consequences of sin and rebellion in a world where relationships with God and others are crucial. The biblical account also reflects the cultural significance of genealogy and family lineage in the ancient world. The tracing of descent was crucial for establishing identity, inheritance, and social status. The biblical narrative uses genealogy to emphasize the importance of faithfulness and obedience in the lineage of God's people. In the early days of humanity, after the expulsion from the Garden of Eden, Cain and his brother Abel were struggling to find their place in the world. While Abel was a shepherd, Cain worked the land, but his efforts were met with frustration and disappointment. One day, while wandering in the wilderness, Cain stumbled upon a beautiful woman. She was kind, intelligent, and shared his passion for the land. They fell deeply in love, and Cain knew he had found his partner. But who was this mysterious woman? The Bible doesn't mention her name or her origins. Some say she was a sister or niece of Cain, born to Adam and Eve after Abel's death. Others believe she may have been a member of a separate human lineage, existing outside the Garden of Eden. Despite the uncertainty surrounding her identity, Cain's wife became a source of comfort and strength for him. Together, they built a life, had children, and worked the land. However, their happiness was short-lived. Cain's jealousy and anger towards Abel eventually led to tragedy, and the family was forever changed. The story of Cain's wife serves as a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there is always hope and redemption. Her mysterious presence in the biblical narrative invites us to ponder the untold stories of humanity's past and the complexities of human relationships. The story of Cain's wife holds profound theological implications, offering insights into the nature of human relationships, marriage, and family. As we explore the theological significance of Cain's wife, we uncover a rich tapestry of themes and motifs that shape our understanding of God's relationship with humanity. Cain's wife represents the first instance of marriage and family outside the Garden of Eden, highlighting the complexities and challenges of human relationships in a post-lapsarian world. Her presence underscores the reality of sin and its impact on human connections, demonstrating the need for redemption and restoration. Cain's wife plays a crucial role in the biblical narrative, serving as a foil to the story of Adam and Eve. While the first couple's relationship is marked by intimacy and harmony, Cain's relationship with his wife is characterized by violence and discord. This contrast highlights the consequences of sin and the need for redemption. The story of Cain's wife offers several implications for our understanding of human relationships. 1. Sin's impact on relationships. Cain's wife demonstrates how sin can distort and damage human connections, leading to violence and discord. 2. Need for redemption. The narrative underscores the need for redemption and restoration in human relationships, pointing to the ultimate redemption found in Jesus Christ. 3. Importance of covenant. The biblical account emphasizes the importance of covenant relationships, highlighting the need for commitment and faithfulness in human connections. The story of Cain's wife also holds significant implications for our understanding of marriage and family. 1. Marriage as a divine institution. The narrative reinforces the idea of marriage as a divine institution, established by God for humanity's well-being. 2. Family dynamics. The story highlights the complexities of family dynamics, demonstrating the need for love, forgiveness, and redemption in family relationships. 3. Legacy of sin. The account underscores the reality of sin's impact on family legacies, emphasizing the need for generational forgiveness and healing. The story of Cain's wife remains one of the most intriguing and mysterious accounts in the biblical narrative. Despite her brief appearance, her presence raises fundamental questions about human relationships, marriage, and family. Through our exploration of the biblical account, historical context, and theological implications, we have unraveled the complexities surrounding Cain's wife. The mystery of Cain's wife serves as a reminder of the complexities and nuances of human relationships. Her story highlights the consequences of sin, the importance of redemption, and the need for forgiveness. Moreover, it underscores the significance of understanding the biblical narrative in its historical and cultural context. Exploring and understanding the biblical narrative is crucial for grasping the depth and richness of human experience. By examining the story of Cain's wife, we gain insight into the human condition, with all its struggles, triumphs, and complexities. This narrative invites us to reflect on our own relationships, values, and beliefs, and to seek a deeper understanding of God's relationship with humanity. The mystery of Cain's wife remains an enigma, but one that offers profound insights into the human experience.